G'day Spurs fans, Paul the Hotspur Hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. The game has just wrapped up this morning, which was a very easy time for me to watch, 7 a.m. kickoff. It was like I had to lie in. Game finished Tottenham Hotspur 2, AS Roma 2. And my first gut, I haven't watched any other reactions, I haven't seen what Ange said. My gut reaction is, it was an entertaining game of football. Both teams played well, and I would like to have won, obviously. But I guess 2-2 is a fair result. AS Roma surprised me. I thought they'd come out and park the bus. I mean, really an early penalty, a foul on Sarr in the box, clear penalty, which Son put away with aplomb. Meant that Roma had to play football, and I think maybe on reflection, I think Roma came here with the intent to play football anyway. So I've got to say well done to Roma for giving us a good game. I think both teams played with good spirit and good intent and tried to get the 3 points. So I can't really be too down about it. I don't think we were bad. In fact, I think a lot of our performances, a lot of our players played extremely well today. I've got to start with Fraser Foster for a start. Not at fault for the 2 goals we conceded, and pulled off a couple of great saves. So well done to Fraser Foster. His passing out of the back, no problem at all. So we'll weather the Vicario ankle storm quite well. I think our defensive line was incredibly well disciplined. There was a couple of goals disallowed for Roma offside. One was miles offside, not worried about that one. Another one, it looked onside to me, but hey, I'm not the one with the etch-a-sketch in the VAR booth deciding whose shoulder or date or twat is over the line or not. But hey, got away with that one. Plenty of chances at both ends. I mean, that's what you want to see in a game of football. Well, you want to see more at one end than the other, but plenty of chances, plenty of chances on target as well. Both teams are putting their necks on the line to block and clear shots. I think Roma probably more than us. There's a couple of instances where I really don't know how the ball didn't go in the back of the net for us, but hey, that's football, you know. So after our second goal was a great ball by Sarr. Sarr had a fantastic game. Ran his legs out. Was substituted in the second half, and I think he was a bit buggered by then, but a well-deserved buggeration because he did put a huge effort in for the team today. But it was a ball through to Kulu, our man monster, who had an outstanding game and put the ball into the cross, only for, who was it? Tap-in Merchant, Brennan Johnson to come firing in with a cracking finish. Tap in my arse. So it was a good game. Both teams had spells where they were on top. AS Roma definitely had about 15-minute spell where they were coming at us quite a lot. I didn't get quite the peppery feeling from them, but I certainly did get the peppery feeling from them towards the end of the game, where I was expecting us to hit our strides and get stronger. But I think we made some good substitutions. Bentancur came off, maybe under the threat of him losing a rag, and maybe at risk of getting a second yellow, and we don't want him suspended for our next game against Dirty Rangers, who had a big result tonight. So that means we're 9th in the Europa League, but we're still in really good standing. I'm still confident that we're going to get through this. It wasn't a do or die game. Well, they all do or die games, aren't they? So Bentancur came off. Madison looked good when he came on. And Basuma absolutely ran the midfield for the period he was on the pitch. Well done, Yves Basuma. Keep on the balloons, mate, if that's what you're doing. Something's working. So our defensive line was good. Hey, one thing I did like was Archie Gray. I thought he looked very, very calm, composed, and he had excellent backup from Ben Davies, the Welsh Pele, who had an astonishing game actually. But every time Gray was on the ball and getting bedded down towards our corner flag, looks up, there's Pele ready to help him out. And at one point in the second match, I was amazed. Who's this player doing a jinking run all up the pitch and almost having a goal? It was Pechley again. So well done, Ben Davies. I think we should give him a bloody contract. He's got promise, this kid. So it was really good support that he had. Timo, when he came on, looked good, defended well, cleared the ball once or twice. Berrival was great as well. And I'm all, we're having to do a hell of a lot of rotation at the moment. We've got another game in just a couple of days' time against Fulham, so it's a real tough balancing act. Solanke worried me when he went down with his leg was yanked out. He kind of did the splits, but he didn't seem to be injured. He wasn't a bit of momentary pain, and then stood up and got on with shit pretty quickly. So hopefully he's okay. Overall, I'm not gutted. I don't feel disappointed. I think it's a fair result. Both sides tried to play football, which is always good to see. Ranieri ran out of whistles at one point. In fact, when he stopped whistling and waving his arms about, that's when Roma equalised near the end. So there's a message in that for you. Lots of rotation for Spurs. We do have to look after our players for the Fulham game because we're running out. We've got bugger all left. So it's fair enough to field that team. It was a very strong lineup, actually. Very strong lineup. But then you're going to say that, I suppose, with Bentancur in midfield, who can't play for the Premier League, is only available for Europa action. So at least he gets some football time in his legs. Solanke was great up front, had a couple of shots. All came that close to a header, really good header, came off the crossbar. I think we hit the woodwork 3-4 times. There was that header. There was Kulu hit the crossbar. I like the fact that our players were having shots, and even though they were stopped by either Roma's defenders or the goalkeeper, they're all on the money. They're all the woodwork. They were on the money. They weren't wayward here and there, so it shows that we're getting really dialed in with when we're having a crack on goal, which is good to see. The fans, they're singing loud, always good to hear, and gave the team some good support. I don't know what the reaction elsewhere in the world is. I'm not really fussed because I enjoy it. It was a real good end to end, both teams trying to play football kind of game. I guess. I suppose, did we take our foot off the gas at certain points in the game? I'd have to reflect more. On why we drew the game and didn't win it, because we certainly were potent up front, but Roma got in the way, just as we got in the way of a lot of their shots. I think we were pressing pretty much throughout the game, and we didn't try and see out the win. So maybe that will come in for criticisms, but I like that. I like the fact that we were still trying to win the game of football or increase our lead. Because like I say, when you're playing the football we're playing, the only time you get really to practice it is during a match out on the pitch. So if you start doing game management and trying to block off the last 10, 20 minutes of a game, that's valuable game time, because we're not just looking at this game in isolation. We're looking at our progress as a football team and as a squad. And so I think it's very important to get into our heads to keep going for it. And hey, sometimes you come a little unstuck. We didn't come fully unstuck. We conceded the win down to a draw. I can live with that. I thought, I think we can hold our heads up high. It was decent performance. Not like Galatasaray, where we were standing around doing bugger all a lot of the game. We were actually moving around. We were pushing them, trying to pass through them. Some of our passing was a little bit sloppy, I guess, but it wasn't as sloppy as Galatasaray. So I suppose if you're looking at our progress in European competition, we were better than Galatasaray. We're on the way up. We're on the way up in that arena. So well done, Spurs. Well done, Spurs. Hard to take a draw when a win was on the table, but it was good enough for the night. So onwards to Fulham. That's the next game to look forward to. Till next time, folks. Peace and love, and come on, you Spurs.